December 25, 2024, the day Cameroon lost an icon. As Christendom celebrated the birth of Jesus Christ on earth, heaven welcomed a man, a Cameroonian, who had left a lasting legacy behind. A man whose life was defined by integrity, a relentless pursuit of justice, and a refusal to be silenced. Barrister Akiri Muna described him as a man who embodied the role of an incorruptible judge and with a steadfast commitment to democracy and human rights. Justice Ayah Paul Abine, who passed at the age of 74, has been described by many as an Iroko tree, strong, resilient, and deeply rooted in the principles of justice. Fabrice Lena, former Secretary General of the People's Action Party, who is also founder of Our Future movement, has expressed shock, saying, I quote, Justice Ayah, we didn't expect it now. Rest in power, you taught us integrity, nobility, and resilience, end of quote. Ayah Paul Abine was born in Akwaya, Cameroon in 1950, a brilliant legal mind. He became a magistrate in 1976, later rising to become the first Anglophone Advocate General at the Supreme Court of Cameroon. In 2002, he was elected as a member of parliament for Akwaya, representing the Manyu division. But his journey in politics would soon be defined by defiance. In 2008, Ayah opposed a constitutional amendment that eventually removed presidential term limits. His stand was brave, but it came at a cost. No one who is part of the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, the CPDM, is allowed to change it. The court-like mentality demands only blind submission to the whims of the leader, who is President Paul Biya. Despite the overwhelming odds against him, Justice Ayah left the CPDM and in 2011 ran for president under the People's Action Party, the PAP, advocating for autonomy and change, particularly in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon. Then, in 2017, when the Anglophone crisis was at its peak, Ayah's voice grew even louder. He called for federalism, a return to the 1960s system. For that, he was arrested and detained for 8 months without charge. That was the beginning of the deterioration of his health, which will culminate in his death. Today, Sisiko Ayub Tabe, leader of the Ambazonia separatist movement, said Justice Ayah was one of the rare voices who spoke the truth to the government of Cameroon and called for an amicable resolution of the Anglophone crisis. Though he was stripped of his freedom and rights, Justice Ayah never wavered in his fight for justice. Tributes have been pouring in both home and abroad. People in Cameroon have been reacting. Even from the prison walls, activists like Abdul Karim Ali immortalized Ayah's spirit. He said, I quote, Pa Abine's legacy will endure, a shining testament to the power of human spirit, end of quote. Professor Maurice Kamto, leader of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM, also called Ayah Paul, an intrepid fighter for freedom, while Barrister Michelle Ndoki described him as a conscience for Cameroon. She said, I quote, he was a symbol of hope for a nation in search of equity and justice. Even after his forced retirement and the freezing of all his bank accounts, Ayah continued his humanitarian work through the Ayah Foundation, which is now also being run by his son Ayah Abine. He supported victims of the Anglophone crisis, Cameroonians in general going through trials, even vulnerable Cameroonians. He never stopped fighting for peace and justice. Ayah's life was a lesson in never giving up. He believed justice was something that Cameroonians needed to fight for on a daily basis. Barrister Michelle Ndoki, a civil society and political actor, said, I quote, we must continue the fight for the values he so passionately defended. Ayah's life was a call to action. In his honor, we must renew our commitment to justice, end of quote. Justice Ayah may have left us, but his spirit remains. He will be remembered by Cameroonians as a man who stood tall when others bowed to the pressures of conformity. He bore the weight of injustice with dignity and believed until his last breath that a better Cameroon was still possible. Rest in peace, Justice Ayah. Your legacy will continue to live on, and we want to extend our love and compassion to the family, to the Ayah family, the Ayah members of the Ayah Foundation, and to Cameroonians in general. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.